guys, welcome to another episode of Nerdrant. I'm Dr. Zelman, also known as Seth, with my co-host.
JJK General.
Second time's the charm. We messed up. I reset my PC.
Yep, because
I did a thing. I did a techie thing.
You did a techie thing.
It is because there was something. It is because something was downloaded onto my computer. I made it really slow, so I had to full wipe it.
Fortnite's asking me if I'm still playing. No, I am not. Go away.
Oh yeah, I turned that off. We don't do that today. We're not doing Fortnite. Whoa.
Sigh.
What a surprise.
Yeah, the event literally happened today, and we're not doing Fortnite, guys. What do you think of that?
Yeah, because we were going to wait till tomorrow, maybe. Then I realized, well, we might as well wait the next week so we can do OG as well. And then we just do... Yeah, anyway, I do have plans for every single week for the rest of the month, JJ, but I'll tell you that later. So,
Hooray.
Guys, we have plans. So, what should you do? Subscribe and hit the bell and be notified when we upload.
Awkward silence intensified.
And make sure you join the Discord, because we definitely have a few things coming up near the end of the year, which is also coming up. So make sure you join, be part of the conversation. Anyway, I want to do that first, and then we can talk the rest of the time.
Okay, I'm glad.
Because I don't know where this episode's going. Because I don't know where this episode's going, guys.
Yay!
Is it one of our random ones?
Random ones? No, this is another JJ idea. These ones always go well. It either ends up being a one-sided conversation or something that is way more structured than usual.
But like, even then, the topic itself, I don't know where we're going to talk about for this one. What are we talking about?
We are talking about rip-off games. And I don't mean like oh, they're taking my money games. I mean, oh, this game is literally exactly like this other game, but it's a copyright-free version.
Yeah, pretty much. Like blockheads.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. We'll talk about that later, maybe, if I remember. If I remember what the game is.
So, yeah, this conversation has what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to say perked up. That's what came to mind, but I don't think that's the right term. It is sprouted.
Intrigued you?
There we go. We can do that.
Sprouted.
This conversation has sprouted from the newest Tencent game that was just announced. What's it called? Light of Mataram? Moituram? Yeah.
Whatever.
Sure, we'll go with that. It looks visually exactly like the what's it called series?
Is that what that is? Horizon?
Yes, Horizon. That's it. It looks
that
exactly
what it is?
like
I thought it was a new
Sony's
Horizon game
series.
that was copy paste. I didn't realize it was a completely different thing.
No, it is
I don't care enough about Horizon, so I did not open the tweet.
Yeah,
I saw two images. I did not care enough to open the tweet. Okay.
People have been ripping this thing apart since it was announced because the mobs, the protagonist, the world, they look exactly like the Horizon series. And people
I just wasn't sure with the remaster and Lego. I thought it was just like another one. It's like, I thought people were complaining because it's like, we don't need another one. We just got Lego and we have a remaster coming.
No, it's literally a completely separate game. Yeah. And people are like, okay, so where's the lawsuit on this one? Because if Nintendo's going to sue Palworld, then Sony needs to sue this one because it is a straight ripoff. Like, I'm sorry, if you saw the comparison pictures, there's no way you could deny that they were not trying to completely rip it off.
No, for the image that I did see, now that I realize that it's two completely different games, it is insane. Even the logo, like the screenshot they took, like where the enemies were placed, it's almost identical.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty interesting, and it is worth noting as well that they seemed to try and hop on the Pokemon trend as well a little bit here with their Mechanimals. Like, you can tame the mechanic animals in this game, which people are saying, they're also trying to copy Palworld's success then here.
Okay.
Guys, these are the people that want to buy Ubisoft. This is the company that wants to buy Ubisoft. Yes. Tencent.
So maybe we're not going for the better than here. Okay.
No,
I didn't realize that we could get worse.
This is really not good. Like, Tencent, for anyone who doesn't know, Tencent is a Chinese company, and so they are very much in the business of microtransactions, rip things off, make as much money as possible by cheating off of other people's
Yeah.
creations. And so it's not a good thing that they want to buy Ubisoft, because as bad as Ubisoft is right now, like with their microtransactions and morals, they could not gain anything from being bought by a Chinese company.
To give you a better idea, I think even compared to EA, I'd rather Ubisoft be sold off to a bigger company.
Mm-hmm.
Because EA, I feel like, doesn't do enough. Like, EA is bad, but the games they're producing are like the sports games. So if you don't play sports games, I don't care what they do. Whereas Ubisoft does properties that I want to succeed, so I want a company to own that. And I don't want Ubisoft to get sold off to this. That's how bad it is.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's interesting. I tried.
So question though, is the gameplay good?
I don't know. I don't know if it's released yet even. Here, let me see.
I don't think it is.
Go?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I don't think it's released yet. It says some point in 2025. But it'll be
the gameplay's good.
Get this. It'll be a PC and mobile game. It will be free to play and playable solo or up to 9 other friends per server.
So let's take this at face value. A Pokemon open world ? Right? I'm assuming it's gonna be like somewhat open world. Horizon game.
Mm-hmm.
Free to play and PC and mobile. Sounds pretty good. And then you throw in to realize that none of it's original.
Yeah,
it is
literally
not
none
their
of it.
original owners.
And Tencent is terrible with microtransactions.
And with microtransactions. I'm just imagining, if you want to open up the door to this village that you found, you're going to have to spend $1 or roll an ad.
Mm-hmm. No, I tried to pull up like Tencent's webpage, and I think I've mentioned this before on a different episode, but they do not like have a list of games that they have made. Like, from the looks of it, scrolling through, it's all stuff that they have worked with other people on to make, like, Chinese versions or dubs, or, like, they have PUBG Mobile on here as one of their games, and I'm like, okay, well, I know they didn't make that, but if you read a little further, it's like they helped with the Chinese version and some, like, co-development.
So there's one of those types of people. It's like the Fortnite version they probably maybe helped with and stuff like that.
Yeah. So it's like, they have helped with some good games, but I don't think they themselves have made anything that they can be proud of because they're not listing it anywhere.
That's crazy. Anyway, we're almost 8 minutes in and we talked about one game.
But
do we want to talk about philosophy? Do we want to talk about other games? Do we want to keep talking about this?
I mean, that was just like the introduction here. Like, that was the one that kind of brought up this idea. So, from here, I guess we can kind of go across and laugh our way through some of the other games. The one main thing that I kind of wanted to focus on here was I have this list, all right? And I mentioned this beforehand. It's a list of 15 games that were better than their originals, like rip-off games, and 15 that were just ridiculous. And
so I definitely do think there is merit to, like, not copying, but some of these remakes or rip-offs definitely can be better. There's many times where I'll talk about it later, but yeah, so do you want to start with the negative? Do you want to lap through some really stupid, funny ones?
Sure,
and we'll end on some actually fun stuff?
So, the first one, it's a ridiculous ripoff. Garfield Go.
Hold up, what?
Garfield Go. Can you guess what that is a ripoff of?
Don't tell me it's Pokemon Go.
It is Pokemon Go.
Oh my god, no.
It is Garfield Go. A ripoff of Pokemon.
I wanted to say one of those Simpson games, like Simpson Tap Out or something. But then I'm like, there's no way it can be Pokemon Go. But we're talking about stupid stuff.
Listen to this. Instead of tossing Pokeballs at Pokemon, you throw slices of lasagna at Garfield while he lets out a various assortment of moans. Literally. And they just literally put here, Garfield Go is just such a bad game that it makes you think it's just some giant joke that someone is getting off to.
Who made it? Who made this? Because if it's Garfield, it's got to be official. Like, they had to have the copyright, right?
It's not listed here. I don't know who made this, but whoever did, I can't even.
Okay, I'm looking it up. Garfield Go. It's from Freeze Tag Inc. Maybe. That sounds great.
Oh my word.
Okay, I don't know. This is a very generic website. This is not seeming a proper company. Okay. Should we go to another one?
Yep.
Or is there more to talk about in Garfield Go?
Or we can just hop to the next one. I got 15 of these, so we can blaze through them if you want.
Let's go to another one, because I don't know what else to talk about.
This one, we got Bubsy, which is apparently a Sonic ripoff, and it has a picture here. It literally looks like some weird fox dog in like 16-bit graphics, and you collect yarn balls. None of these things have anything to do with each other, and apparently it has some of the worst platforming mechanics ever, but somehow got 3 sequels.
I'm seeing it. Yeah, we got Bubsy 3D, Bubsy Woolies, and Paws on Fire from 2019.
It's like, all right, I don't know how it succeeded, but
yeah, hold up. The first, do you know what's crazy is I look up, and the first one is the 3D. It is a Super Nintendo cartridge.
Bruh.
But then one of the other ones is from PS4. It went from Super Nintendo to PS4. That is how long this series lasted.
Bruh.
That's insane. Yeah, I'm looking at a classic like PlayStation, the original. Oh my gosh, this does look.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it looks like I'm looking at like in-game clips now. It looks just like Sonic.
Mm-hmm.
Dang. Okay.
Anyways, next one. We got. I've heard this name before too. Killer Instinct, which is apparently Rare. The company Rare. It's their fighting game, but it is literally almost a reskin of Mortal Kombat. Apparently, like mechanics are the same, visuals are the same, combos are the same. Even it's literally just Mortal Kombat, but skin it for them.
There's a. Wow, no, it's straight, like, it's new. Here's one from Xbox. It's from 2013. Here's a game case for Xbox One. Okay. Yeah, nope.
Yeah.
Again, nothing else to really talk about there. Cool. It's just Mortal. So, hold on. Let's quickly talk about that. I wonder, what is the original fighting game? Because we have Mortal Kombat, or is it Street Fighter?
I want to say Street Fighter just because it's more of like, it was an arcade game, but in terms of like the more 3D combo based, like advanced fighting game, I think Mortal Kombat did that first. And then Street Fighter kind of followed in the footsteps because it just made sense for their series.
So see, Street Fighter came out before, so we have Street Fighter in 1987, and that's by Capcom. Then Mortal Kombat is by Midway in 1992. Huh. Would you say that's a ripoff too then? Like, I feel like they're very, or do you think they're different enough? Like, this is like this is a Marvel rival versus Overwatch situation. Obviously, that's a little bit more modern, but in the day of arcade machines, how different were you able to really make it?
I feel like that's opening the box of genres again, and we need to not do that this episode.
What, Mortal Kombat versus Street Fighter?
No, genres. Like, you would have to ask the question of which genre do they fit in, and if they fit in that genre and that genre entails what they are, then it's not necessarily a ripoff.
I mean, they're both the same thing, though.
But
do we really need to decide?
Both follow enough of the footsteps of the genre to be different from each other, or are they literally just the same game but looking different?
Hey guys, remind us next year, because we have plenty to go over in December. Remind us next year, come back to fighting games, and we're decide which came first, if Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat's a ripoff.
Literally.
Great episode title right there. Anyway, let's go on to the next one.
So this one, they have it listed as one of the better than the original ones, but I am going to say what in the heck, because it's Crush the Castle, which is apparently an Angry Birds ripoff. Nothing about the picture that I am seeing looks better than Angry Birds. It is literally where the piggies would be standing, there's weird 8-bit guards, and apparently they can lose their limbs and heads if the walls of the castle that they have poorly constructed around them fall on them.
One image, it looks like a Flash game.
It is. It is a Flash game released in 2009.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yep. It's
it seems like it would be like cool. It feel like it'd be like a version of something popular on cool math games.
Yeah.
And it's like, it doesn't seem bad. It's just obvious to put it as better. Like, Angry Birds feels fluid because like the style itself seems more polished. This seems rugged. Yeah, I don't know what they're smoking.
Yeah. Anyways, this one I had a topic to bring up with. We have another ridiculous one here is Sonic Shuffle, which is apparently literally just Mario Party but Sonic. And so that brought me to the thought, how can they do this, right? Like, I get that it is technically its own formula of game, right? Like, you can make it a board game and stuff, but for two companies, and I guess IPs as big as like Nintendo and Sega or Mario and Sonic, to like literally back to back release games like this that are almost identical copies to each other, how can they do that and be fine?
I would say one of two things. One, and they're kind of the same thing, but one, copyright law was so early back then. Like, obviously they were strict, but especially in video games, like, were you able to copyright an entire type of video game? And then with that, if they were, did they do it differently enough than what the generic, right? Because remember, this was before times where they were straight up copywriting gameplay mechanics.
Mm-hmm.
Which is now a thing. Like, there are patents on specific gameplay mechanics. So the reason they're probably able to do that is just because it was so long ago. It was before that. We're talking about stuff like that now with Tower World versus Pokemon, but that just wasn't a conversation that anyone has thought about back when these games came out. So I would assume the laws were just more open to interpretation, and they're able to get away with it.
Mm-hmm.
Because Sega's also Japanese, or Japanese or Chinese, so then they would also be under the same law, versus, again, where stuff like this happens now, it's the US and Japanese court, and generally you lose.
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
Maybe, I don't know. So that's just guesses, and based on what I do know,
all presumption.
That makes the most sense.
Yeah. Anyways, on to the next one. We got Star Wars Dark Forces, which literally, I've seen this one too. I think they just remade it. It's just Doom, like the original Doom, but Star Wars.
Dang.
Yeah,
1995.
You got Star Wars laser guns, and you're shooting you're shooting stormtroopers, and it's literally just Doom.
And here's a remaster. Yep, they are indeed remastering it.
Yeah, it's Doom.
Which I guess this kind of goes back to the Street Fighter versus Mortal Kombat. Games are just so open that, like, what else could they have done in a shooter genre unless they completely redefine it? Which, I'm not saying you shouldn't, but back then, like, it was just so limiting that they saw a shooter game, their franchise's guns, let's just do it in our way. Like, put a skin over it. Because you can't really do much. Now, like, because again, like, you gotta, like, really take back, like, what you think gaming is now. Because back then, gaming was just 100 ones and zeros, and you gotta do what you could do with it.
Yeah.
So, it sucks, but it's also not as surprising with some of these older games like that.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, this one. This is another one that I had to raise a point for and kind of take a sidetrack on. We have Nova, which is a very blatant Halo ripoff. And I'm going to let you guess, okay? Out of everybody we've discussed in the past for ripoff games, who do you think developed this one?
Tencent?
Nope.
Sega.
No.
Nintendo.
I believe I said their name earlier when I was listing the resources that I pulled up.
Maybe. I don't remember though.
Okay. It was Gameloft.
Gameloft, that's the one. Yeah, I remember.
Yes.
I wanted to ask about that because you said something about that when you were talking about the idea.
Yeah, so
I've never heard of them though.
I think we brought this up in the past. I can't remember which episode it would have been for, but we've discussed Gameloft.
Mobile
and
games,
they're
probably.
Kind of, it could have been, yeah. But Gameloft has developed a lot of questionable games in the past. Currently, if you go to their website, I should have it pulled up here.
Top featured is Carmen Sandiego. That's actually peak.
Yeah, no, but like
peak.
if you look at their website and you go to the oldest games possible, they're not all there. Because I can guarantee you, I have played myself their Spider-Man ripoff. Like, you know, PS4 Spider-Man or PS5 Spider-Man. I don't know which one it would have been. The new age Spider-Man
they do
game.
Asphalt. Like I've definitely played these games. Like a lot. Like I'm seeing now that I'm seeing a symbol in some of these logos. Definitely reminds me. Oh, Modern Combat. That's another big one.
Sniper Fury and what was the other one? Gangster. Yeah, the Gangster series, the GTA ripoff. There are a lot of these. Like Gameloft is one of the biggest ones for kind of changing enough about it to make it not that thing. But if a player encounters it, they're like, oh, this is obviously supposed to be an adaptation of this game. And it is important to note that Gameloft is mainly a mobile developer. So
yeah,
if you're on
like
the Google Play Store,
mobile.
the Apple Store,
they
you're
have
looking
a
at
PC
this
version, but it's made for mobile.
Yeah. And they are not bad developers, right? Like, it's important to note here, Gameloft is actually pretty good at what they do, because the Asphalt series and some games like, obviously, Dragon Mania, I know is really popular, but they have some other, like, more sponsored gems, like some Disney games in there, and there's like a Lego game in there.
I might actually have to buy their new game. Carmen Sandiego is coming to PS5. I gotta pick that up. I have a little handheld, like old school, like Game Boy type Carmen Sandiego game on my desk. Like I love Carmen. I have all the classic from like the 80s cartoon in DVD. I didn't realize there's a new Carmen Sandiego game coming out. I gotta pick this up. Complete side note, but I'm looking. I gotta get this.
Yeah. But no, Gameloft is.
Hold up. Wait, this is better. Do you know where else it's gonna be? It's gonna be on Netflix games.
No.
It's Netflix, App Store, Google Play, then Switch, Xbox, Microsoft, Steam, and PS5.
They put it everywhere, bro.
Do I buy it on PS5 or do I just play it on Netflix?
I wonder if they're releasing a physical. Buy the physical Carmen Sandiego Netflix game.
Nah, I'm actually, guys, listen to my channel. I'm gonna compare the Netflix Carmen Sandiego. Okay, I'm dying. This is not where I expected. I did not expect this today. This is phenomenal, though. Complete side tangent. I'm not sorry.
Gameloft is special because they have had a lot of like full-on like collaborations. Like I said, Disney is their biggest one. They have had some Star Wars stuff, some just straight up Disney. Like Dreamlight Valley is a big one, but it seems like when they are given the chance to work with actual IP, they can make some solid games. They're still kind of scammy in their microtransactions and stuff, but they can make some solid games. But they're really a veteran in the App Store in terms of, we're going to give you something that's close to this thing that you can't have. Like GTA. We have Gangster Vegas, which I watched a whole video on how ridiculous that game was, and oh my.
Which one?
It's the Gangster series. It was either Gangster New Orleans or Gangster Vegas, one of the two.
That's crazy.
But no, the Asphalt series is like a really well-developed racing game for mobile.
Of Asphalt, yeah. I've played it a few times, and it's good. I just don't care enough to keep playing.
So they're not bad developers.
It's one of the bigger games.
They're just special.
It seems like, special. It seems like it's one of those studios that can make a good game. They just can't make original content.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if they had to make a brand new game with an original character or something, I don't know if they could, but if they give it a name like Carmen Sandiego, they can make a phenomenal game now that they have, like, a theme to go off of. I really hope it's good. Definitely getting this.
Look forward to that, guys.
By the way, the handheld that I got it for like $7-10 from like a game store. It's like $70+.
Oh wow.
It's like a collectible, I guess. That's kind of cool. Anyway, next ripoff. This is not a ripoff. It's peak.
Fighter's History, which is a Street Fighter ripoff. This image is chaos that I'm seeing right now. It's literally, it looks like a Street Fighter scene, but every character in here looks like something out of like a DC comic. Like, we got somebody that looks like a weird, like, Joker. We got a Michael Jackson with like a black army cut. We got, I don't know, I don't even know what to call this guy. He's like,
I know that's like a pen, but it almost looked like a nail at first on the one guy.
Yeah, we got somebody who looks like Mr. T here as well. It's literally
no. I think that's great. Like the classic cartoons from like Chuck Norris or Mr. T. That's where these characters look like.
Yeah,
and then we got like some crazy anime one that one really big guy.
No, it's a little crazy here, but that one is very much obviously a Street Fighter ripoff.
We even have our Chun-Li.
Here's a fun one. We got Final Combat, which is a ripoff of Team Fortress 2.
Not where you thought that was gonna go. Like Mortal Kombat, maybe.
It is literally a blow-for-blow ripoff of Teamfight 2.
Wow, I look up an image. It is straight like art style and like everything. Like straight up
exactly the same.
That is straight up the pyro.
They literally say here, it's the type of game you find at a weird flea market.
But the first image I see is Chinese, so maybe it's one of those.
Could be. I don't even know.
Because like I do see English, but most of the images I'm seeing are Chinese. Who do you think the developer is?
Oh dear. Do I want to know?
I'm trying to find it. I don't know.
I want to guess Tencent.
That's what I'm like thinking.
I closed all my Tencent tabs, so I don't.
Final Combat developer. Pearl Digital Entertainment and published by Axiom Games in China.
I got nothing. Never heard of them.
I thought that'd be really funny if it was.
Yeah. We have Crash Tag Team Racing, which is a Crash Bandicoot racing game that released and was pretty much exactly the same as the Diddy Kong racing game that came out before it.
Dang.
Yeah. It's lovely.
That's wonderful.
This one's funny. We have a ridiculous ripoff here that's, I don't know, this is a bold one to say, but we have League of Legends that's a ripoff of Dota.
No, that's fair. That's fair. There's some really huge games, like Pokemon itself. Realistically, is a ripoff. Like,
I mean, I guess
some of these mechanics and stuff that like really blew up the game are not known from their original like source. Like everyone, I feel like more people definitely know League of Legends. I think Arcane helped, but even before Arcane came out, I think League of Legends was larger in a normal sense. I think for competitive though, Dota's massive. Dota is one of the biggest esports out there, especially the prize pool. Like, have you seen how much like prize pool they've had? They've had like tens of millions of dollars. Sometimes like millions of like tens of millions in a single tournament.
Yeah, I think it's weird though. Saying it's a ripoff, it implies that, like, I know Dota was popular in its time, but I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe Dota was a mod for something else. Like, it was a creator-made mod for, was it World of Warcraft or something like that? And so it's weird saying League of Legends was a ripoff of that, because can you really rip off something that wasn't its own game? I feel like it was an important stepping stone in League of Legends becoming what it was, but I don't think it's a ripoff per se.
Dota is a series of strategy video games. The series began in 2003 with the release of Defense of Oceans, a fan-developed multiplayer online battle arena custom map for the video game Warcraft 3.
Yeah, Yeah,
so
it's weird calling that one a ripoff, but I can see why they put it there.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I'm not saying like, oh yeah, it definitely is, but I can understand it.
Now we have another ridiculous one. I've heard this name before, but I don't know anything about it. We have Dante's Inferno as ripoff of God of War.
Dante's Inferno.
Apparently, its combat was almost identical.
Wow, I'm looking at the PSP image. Yeah, it's like very similar. Oh, but that one's on the Xbox.
Lovely. That's probably what made it popular, is people are like, ooh, a God of War clone that I can play.
No, absolutely. Yeah, I'm looking at some of these like in-game images. Yeah, very similar. But I wouldn't be surprised. Oh no. Oh no. Don't tell me this one's made by EA. Is it actually by EA? Developers. Yeah, it's actually by EA. No.
Bruh.
That's... Yep. All right, well, that's enough said about that game then. That's all we need to know.
We're down to our top 3 here. So we have Saints Row, which is a ripoff of GTA. I don't even know what to say about this. So have you played a Saints Row game?
I don't know enough about either.
I have played one Saints Row game, and oh my word, this game is like a fever dream mixed with being high. Like, I couldn't even start to describe to you the like 5 hours of this game that I played, because somehow I went from becoming president to revealing some sort of inter-spy theme to the White House being blown up by aliens and me turning into some metahuman with superpowers and then going out on the street and doing medial tasks for the government.
Was that the whole game or was that just the 5 hours?
That was just the first 5 hours. I did not beat the game. You can literally drive tanks around the city and earn money by destroying stuff. It like the gameplay, like raw, like sandbox stuff, is a lot like GTA. But
I was about to say, like story-wise, it seems very different.
Rip-off? No,
but
like
gameplay-wise,
it is nothing like GTA when you break it down to the story.
Yeah, no, definitely not story. But even then, I'd argue it's again just one of those things where it almost. That whole thing, what came first? Was it like that open world at GTA that we know of now versus like when this came out, or like Jerry's mod or Gary's mod?
Jerry's mod.
I know. I'm
the Gary's brother.
Because when did that come out? Like, because you know we know what GTA is now, but that's GTA 5, which has technically been out since the PS3, right?
Mm-hmm.
So back when Saints Row started coming out, was GTA open enough like that?
Yeah, I'd say it's another question of like, is it more of a subgenre thing? Like this is just a subgenre that exists.
The sandbox genre maybe versus a GTA thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Anyway, we have the last one here, PlayStation All-Stars, which is a ripoff of Super Smash Bros. Melee, apparently.
Yeah.
I didn't know PlayStation had a game like this, but all right.
Yep, we got one. Oh my gosh, this is so... Okay, so if we look at the images of the first one... Oh, I lost it. Give me 1 second, please. PlayStation All-Stars. I go to images. Yeah, so we look at the original from PS3. We got Sockboy. We got the daddy, right? Is it daddy or father from BioShock?
I don't even know.
We got the original God of War, we got Ratchet and Clank, but then we have the new one. Where's the new one? I saw like a really good looking SpongeBob. Like it's really high definition because it's on the PS5.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, here we got Crash. Is that? No, I was about to be like, that's no way that's Yu-Gi-Moto from Yu-Gi-Oh! But they phone up. I'm not, but I'm seeing some crazy characters in those lists, including the 2018 God of War.
Yeah, but like, it's weird to me that PlayStation would, like, apparently this is right after Smash Bros. Melee came out, and they were trying to, like, ride the hype. It's weird to see them, like, do that with, I guess, they don't have a limited library of IP, but they have far less than Nintendo to pull from, and so them putting out a game like this, especially right after that, I could definitely see it being a case of, they made money, let's try that.
All right, this is probably a ripoff, but I am seeing Persona and Nier Automata in one of these images. I don't know if they own that. They might.
I didn't think they do, because that's
Because a lot of these I'm seeing, like, do you remember that
what
Rant
studio is that?
one that Dan TDM played? Where,
Yeah.
like that's also on a lot of these images. Like,
Huh.
sure, they might be on other things. It might not be exclusive, but they might be a Sony or a sub-Sony studio.
Mm-hmm. Dang.
I'm not sure. Like, I'm just scrolling through and a lot of these, dude. Like, I'm not sure, but
Maybe we'll have to play that.
We got
Guys, we're
Astrobot
gonna
in
do
here
a
too, of course.
PlayStation All-Stars stream. Let's go.
Ciao. Let's do some power scaling. PlayStation All Stars versus Brawlhalla something.
Anyways, so
Okay,
now
so before
can...
we get into the good stuff, like back to the genre thing, I think this is a great way. Like, we got to remember this. Like, try to put this in our mind. Remember this when we go back to fighting. I think those are two very good separate subgenres now. Not that saying we're defining it, but just so we have some names of like the normal 1v1, like Street Fighter versus Mortal Kombat. But then like we now have some other ideas of Smash Bros. With multiverses and PlayStation All Stars.
It's like Smash Fighters versus Beat 'em Up Fighters.
Exactly. I think that is like, because we are definitely struggling trying to think of things apart from Smash. I can guarantee it. So just try to remind that, because guys, if you, again, we will eventually come back. It might be once a year, but we will come back to genres.
Eventually.
Eventually.
Yeah, so now
You
we're
wanna
going to
get
go
into
down our other list. So we have the 30 games that are better than their originals, supposedly. And a lot of these, I will disclose, are like a little shiftier claims. Like the very, very first one that they mention is Fortnite as a ripoff of PUBG.
I mean, no, it's fair. I agree.
It's a fair claim. It's not like it hasn't been made before, but it's also one of those like, okay, but it's a genre. Like that's
No,
they have
but I
full
think it's the
right to
same
try and
thing.
make a battle royale.
I do think, though, it's the same thing of what we talked about earlier, where it was very clearly PUBG succeeded, Fortnite did not, with Save the World, and in like 6 months they made the entire game with so many copy assets. Like the map definitely like had a lot of copy assets at the very beginning. So I think it's a very fair claim to say that was a ripoff of PUBG or H1Z1.
Yeah.
Because it was very clearly not like in development for a long time for a battle royale setting.
But hey,
And here we are now.
I would
Now
say
we
it's better than PUBG.
Ice Spice. Now, but back then, I definitely it was iffy. But here we are now, 6-7 years later. We got Ice Spice and Juice WRLD vibing out on our chapter 6 map.
I mean, hey, Snoop Dogg's in both games. Okay.
it's fair. It's fair.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's
Next
number
one.
30.
Sim City as a ripoff of Utopia.
Yeah,
So-
I think Cities is just definitely one of those genres. Like, I feel like
Yeah, I think this is one that, because of the IP, it was more of a success. Because Utopia, I've heard the name, and I know it's like a city sim, but I don't think it took off because a bigger IP hadn't made it popularized yet. And so SimCity saw, oh, that's a good idea. Let's try that, but with our universe. And because of that, people are like, oh, city sims, that's a thing. And obviously, when you think simulator, you go to The Sims.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what I was going to say. I think just it's a popular thing just because of the IP. Like, they just kind of copy stuff, not in a ripoff sense. It's just like, ideas, modify it. But because it is The Sims, it is such a large thing. Like, definitely one of the biggest games of all time, honestly, right? At least in like a genre, maybe not like top 10 selling games of all time. Actually, where is Sims 4? I feel like Sims 4 is massive. How many copies has Sims 4 sold?
That's a great question. Are you Googling it?
Yes.
Okay, I figured.
Over 200 million, not Sims 4, but Sims 4 specifically has over, as of March, 85 million players worldwide.
Wow, that's crazy.
That might actually be one of the biggest then. That's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it's really accessible to people, and it's on all platforms, and it's constantly supported. So I mean, it makes sense.
like it's still definitely getting updated because actually here I'm opening up. We have like sales. If that's true, we have Minecraft at 300 million, Grand Theft Auto 5 at 205, and Wii Sports at 82, PUBG 75, Mario Kart 8 72, Red Dead 67, Terraria 60. Hey, there's Terraria 58 50. Where's 42? So I'm not seeing Sims on here, so I'm not sure if that's super true. I'm just looking at Wikipedia. But if that's true, it is definitely up there then, because that means it is bypassing Tetris, given a Game Boy, and Wii Fit. Like, it's up there. Another fun side tangent. How many more you know?
Anyways, let's blaze through a couple more of these. So we got the Forza series as a ripoff of Gran Turismo. I don't know if I'd call it a ripoff. They came out around the same time, I believe, and they are different brands. Like, obviously, one is PlayStation, one is Xbox, and it's, they were both going to have a racing game eventually, so I don't think it's fair to call it a ripoff. They're both just, jumping on that market of racing games.
I think what I was saying, like, earlier, like you said, they are very similar. They're super original, but it's just, like you said, they're gonna make one eventually, and with the technology they had, they were limited. You're not gonna have 50 different cars and different racetracks on a PS1, so it's gonna be limited. And Xbox came out afterwards, because Xbox came out after PlayStation, so it's just gonna be limited to what those originals are gonna be. And I do think now they're pretty different. They definitely have their own aesthetics, but just back then, what could you do in a racing game with the technology?
Yeah. Anyways, next up, Rock Band is a ripoff of Guitar Hero.
Yeah.
They're both really good games. Like, there's nothing wrong with either of them. I think Rock Band, it was once again a situation of Rock Band was more accessible to people, and I believe Rock Band had like all the drums and stuff too, as opposed to just the guitar. And so people were like, "Oh, I want to be the drummer. I don't want to play guitar." Or it's easier to do drums logically than it is to guitar. So people could get different instruments as opposed to having to have the same controller.
Yeah, no. I also think, again, just like the time, I feel like when Rock Band probably came out, Rock itself, because I'm looking at some of the images and just it heavily reminds you just the logo itself like Kiss or something. So probably around the time it came out, Rock was probably like one of the biggest genres. Especially of gamers, right? Because again, like gamers are very different when that kind of game came out. So that probably, like you said, appealed to a bigger audience with drums and rock and stuff.
No, it's kind of sad we're not ever going to get a game like that again. Because like the closest thing that we've gotten in a long time is Fortnite Festival, and they themselves are not releasing any instruments, right? They had the console like guitar that came out, but we're not going to get a drum set. We're not going to get a bass, or like I know Rock Band had the microphone and stuff too. Like, we're not going to get that again for things like Festival, which is honestly really sad because that was such a unique way to play a game.
Officially, but I will say, like, through my streams, like where I'm scrolling through like TikTok, I've seen people play Fortnite Festival on drums.
I mean, I guess you can hotkey it and stuff, but I guess the more
I don't
unique
think it'd be
mechanics,
too hard.
like
I said, it's not official. There's
stuff.
not fluid. There's probably problems with it, but it is something that's plausible. And here's the big thing: UEFN. If we can combine UEFN, we can definitely make that more accessible and fluid and actually a feature.
Yeah.
Whether that be Epic or Fan.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're not getting something official because like Rock Band, I don't know what they're doing. And is it Rock Band or no? It's the people that made Guitar Hero are officially working on Festival. Like that's their new game.
Yeah.
Anyway, next game.
Okay, so this one I'm going to read what they have said here because I did not know this. So this one, better than its original, is Super Mario Bros. 2 as a ripoff of Doki Doki Panic.
Okay.
Now, I'm like, I have no idea what Doki Doki Panic is, and I did not think Mario as a sequel, it could be a ripoff of another game, but they have it said here. Apparently, the Western version of Super Mario Bros. 2 is much different than the Japanese version, and the original sequel to Super Mario Bros. Was deemed too difficult for Western gamers, and was instead swapped with a reskinned game, and the game to receive its Mario makeover was Doki Doki Panic. So apparently, they literally took this game and put Mario skins over it because the real game was too difficult for Western gamers.
Dang, y'all. Y'all suck. You could have played Mario? It's crazy. Everybody go roast your parents.
It's actually
Your
wild.
generation sucks. That's wild. That is a fun story that I did not... That's another fun thing I did not expect from today's episode.
Yeah. Hey, fun facts with Nerdrant, I guess.
For real. Guys, I'm going to start adding like a quote fun fact channel or Discord. Some crazy stuff in the episodes.
All right, next up we have Overwatch as a ripoff of Paladins.
Yep.
I'm gonna search Paladins because I've actually never heard that name before.
Because definitely, because I feel like Overwatch itself, I originally thought was much older, but it only came out in 2017.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the game's not that new. Or old, I should say.
I guess my Wi-Fi is not going to be friendly to me because it's not loading this page, so I'm not going to ever know what Paladins is. Woo!
Hi-res. Paladins Champion. Paladins. It's like a release date. Because I'm seeing Paladins 2018, but that's got to be like a new one. I'm seeing 2017. So wait, is it the other way around? Steam stats from 2016.
They have said here this one's a little confusing as the timeline for both games is quite cloudy, so it's not very clear which game or idea came first. That being said, Overwatch feels more polished and has garnered much more popularity.
Overwatch has definitely been more popular. Absolutely. Yeah. Like Overwatch, whether you liked it or not, Overwatch 2 got big enough to get it to. Whether 2's good or not is different.
Yeah.
But yeah, actually, I look up Overwatch release date, and right there, next Overwatch 2 is Paladins.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then it's Fortnite.
And next up, we have Battlefield as a ripoff of Call of Duty. Now, this one I have a qualm with because I feel like it is very clear that Call of Duty is not meant to be a military sim. It is an FPS, and it is a good FPS, but it is not a military sim. Its gameplay does not reflect that at all, whereas Battlefield is literally meant to be you're a troop, you are working with your army, and you know, that's it. Like, no flashy stuff, no laser guns, no fun, like, crazy skins. Like, it is literally just military stuff and pure military stuff, whereas Call of Duty kind of ventures into the more, like, here's some flashy skins, here, unlock this fun stuff. We have, like, fun lore for you to get. We have zombies, you know, stuff like that.
Big difference I think it's talking about is going to be the original campaigns. The original Call of Duty before COD 4 was World War II games. Modern Warfare 1, 2, and 3. Not Modern Warfare. Call of Duty 1, 2, and 3. I think that's what it's talking about. That the original Battlefield gameplay is very similar to that. Because multiplayer was not that big. Yes, they had multiplayer. That's not what COD 1, 2, and 3 were. Multiplayer blew up with COD 4 Modern Warfare. And I could totally see Battlefield being a ripoff of that. Of the original Call of Duty trilogy. Like Call of Duty 1, 2, and 3. Very similar. Like, it does not have that. The fanciest thing we had in COD 4 was the gold, like, deagle. We did, and, like, basic camos. We didn't get the fancy stuff realistically until, like, Black Ops 2 in 2012. Or so. So I definitely do think back in the day, especially from a campaign perspective, for those original 3, Battlefield is definitely a ripoff.
Yeah.
Multiplayer definitely does feel a little different, but from those original, I definitely can see that. And then obviously, it definitely does feel different now, though. Like, Battlefield 2042 and whatever the Call of Duty was at the time, very different games in almost every aspect.
Yeah.
Next
All
game.
right, next up we have, now this one is specifically referring to the
Hey,
arcade
what number is
game.
this?
This is number 6.
Okay, yeah, because we only have 10 minutes left already.
This is specifically referring to the arcade game, Guitar Hero, as a ripoff of Guitar Freak. Now, apparently Guitar Freak was an arcade game that I guess first used the guitar piece as like a controller for the game, and that directly inspired Guitar Hero and turned it into a franchise itself.
I'm seeing Drum Mania is another one, which is like an in-person arcade machine, but drums.
Yeah, Guitar Freak was actually published by Konami, for those who know Konami.
Fun.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Let's see. I'm skipping a couple of these because they're literally like, well, yeah, obviously that was inspired. Like this one, Streets of Rage 2, is a ripoff of Double Dragon. Like, yeah, they're both fighting games. They're both very similar style.
Let's just jump to top 3.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, what's 3?
I don't even know what this one. Pong is a ripoff of Magnavox Ping Pong.
Yeah. No, I knew Pong. Yeah, actually, yeah. That's true. Pong isn't actually original. Pong was a ripoff. Pong was a copy.
Pong.
You were
the
not
first
expecting
video
that.
game?
No, I remember because I did go on a classic route when I remember I watched this one guy beat Pac-Man. Like he got to the final round and a code couldn't comprehend, so half the screen didn't load of like the original Pac-Man arcade machine. It's pretty cool. But yeah, Pong's a copy. Same with Atari. The Atari is also not original. There was something like that before. I don't remember what it's called though.
Yeah.
Anyway, 2.
Mrs. Pac-Man is a ripoff of Crazy Otto.
Don't know that one.
Crazy Otto was a modded version of Pac-Man that changed the mazes, the sprites, and sped up the game quite a bit.
How do you spell Crazy Otto? Oh, never mind.
Crazy Otto, yeah. Midway actually bought the series rights to the game from the developers and slapped the name Mrs. Pac-Man on it to finalize the deal. So apparently it is literally Crazy Otto that they bought and made it Mrs. Pac-Man.
That's crazy. Okay. Cool. Sounds like Nintendo though.
Yeah.
They haven't changed much in the years. Man, what is number 1?
I have no idea what this is, but King's Bounty: The Legend as a ripoff of the Heroes of Might and Magic.
King's Bounty. What is it? King's Bounty.
The Legend and the Heroes of Might and Magic. Both games are in the fantasy tactical role-playing genre, and King's Bounty: The Legend is regarded as one of the best there. These two series have had a lot of competition over the years, but now many fans agree that King's Bounty: The Legend is superior to the newest Heroes of Might and Magic game. So they're just competitors, and one has been better than the other, I suppose.
Swag, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that's the number 1, but I guess that's a genre I don't think either must really play. Like, this seems like King of Empires or like one of those types of things.
Yeah.
And I don't think either must play any games like that.
I have one last game that I was saving for the end because I wanted to bring it up. I guess we don't have a whole lot of time to talk about it.
Because, I want to talk a few as well.
Yeah. I just wanted to bring up Stumble Guys. I'm sure you've seen it around.
No, I remember in like graduation, I would have like there's people yelling like, "Yo, what's the Stumble Guys code?" while we're sitting in an auditorium.
Yeah, literally. Like, it's crazy to me that Stumble Guys, obviously, blatant ripoff of Fall Guys, but it's doing almost better, I want to say, than Fall Guys is. Like, it's a free-to-play game. It's on
But where
almost
is
every
it?
platform. It's like
Specifically, what
Xbox,
platform?
mobile, and PC.
Mobile.
And
I think is what made it good. Because Fall Guys
but it's
definitely was
on
Fall Guys
consoles
not-
as well. Like, people play it on consoles frequently.
I think another example of that would just be Among Us. Like, the reason Among Us did well, in a general sense, was because it was on mobile, and then we started getting streamers playing PC. I think if it was PC exclusive, I don't think it would have blew up as much. But
Yeah.
because it was mobile, the word got out to then get the PC version. But I guess the thing with Stumble Guys is the fact that Fall Guys is on console.
Fall Guys is console and PC. It doesn't have a mobile. I mean, I guess it does now, but it didn't then. But the part that boggles me is the fact that it is clearly a ripoff of Fall Guys. There has been nothing done about it, and they are getting, like, real IP sponsorships. Like, I'm pretty sure they just had one with Pac-Man.
That is weird. Yeah. I didn't think it was still up.
Yeah, no,
I haven't heard it since like graduation 2 years ago.
It is thriving. Like, it's
I've
crazy
seen a
to
Looney
me.
Tunes, a full Looney Tunes collab. Yeah, that's crazy.
I don't know how it can just exist like this. Like, it has a full, like, creator economy and stuff like that. Like, it's wild to me that it is thriving like this while clearly being a ripoff of another game.
I think that really shows just how open Epic is, sometimes a little too much to the community. I think UEFN has definitely done some damage in certain ways. That's a completely different topic. But because it was, I don't know how early it was bought by Epic. I feel like it was bought pretty early on, like a while ago. After Rocket League, but because I think if it was a different studio, definitely, like if it was under specifically PlayStation or Xbox, I don't think it would have existed, Stumble Guys. But because Epic is so lenient, Stumble Guys exists.
Yeah, I just had to bring that one up because it's crazy how much, like, I still see it everywhere, and it's getting sponsorships.
That's crazy. Yeah, no, I literally have not heard that since graduation.
Yeah.
I just want to mention a few other games more so. I think one obvious one is we kind of mentioned it just with mobile games, not the specific game, just the Minecraft clones. Like, there is a blatant Minecraft, like, Cube VR. And just, like, from VR, which, by the way, was like a $50, $60 game.
Yeah. I mean, some of it comes with just Minecraft being one of the largest games ever, so.
But I feel like, yeah, definitely. But this was, like, not the Cube one, but like some of these mobile games were back in the day where like it was Minecraft Pocket Edition, like even like Pocket Light, stuff like that is when like some of these were crazy. Obviously now, and it was popular back then, but that was before it overtook Tetris or GTA or any big game. But I think another place that we can look at Minecraft is Roblox. Not Roblox as a ripoff, but some of the sub games. Like we talked about it before. And like some of the Call of Duty clones on there, or some of them are, I've seen people say are more accurate to Battlefield. But I remember one, what was it? No, I'm completely forgetting it. Have you seen the Fortnite clone on there?
No.
Google it real quick. Look, Google Roblox Fortnite clone. It has editing and building and everything. And people say it is more fluid than Fortnite itself. Obviously, I think this is depending on season, and a lot of these are like when we had low, really boring seasons with lack of content. Strucid, I think.
Yeah, I'm seeing this. That's a little,
Yeah, like it's crazy. It's really funny, and there's a lot of that on Roblox. But, I mean, I guess, speaking of Fortnite clones, Fortnite itself, inside of UEFN, probably has a lot of clones, too. And I think, like, great, and that is a whole other conversation we have. I know we're wrapping up, but just that, again, the idea of, like, IPs and stuff is, like, the Pit, like, our Pit ripoffs of the Pit.
I don't know.
Or, like, Red versus Blue. Well, if you want to know, join our Discord, talk about it.
Yeah, come tell us your thoughts, because God knows we don't know what we're talking about.
We don't. Anyway, we have plenty of stuff coming up. So make sure you join the Discord and subscribe at the bell, yada yada. I'm Dr. Zombring with my co-host.
GTAK Junimal.
And we ranted about a lot of stuff, including Carmen San Diego. And bye.
Bye.